Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Aurora Online Classes. Let's proceed with the same lesson 4 in the Kingdom of the Fools. In my previous class, students, I taught you that the goldsmith was called by the king, and the goldsmith was very much scared of the king, and the king ordered punishment for him. So, in order to save himself, the goldsmith took the name of the merchant. He was the same merchant whose wall had fallen, and just because of the falling of the wall, the thief had died. So now the merchant was called. Let's see further what happens. The goldsmith named the merchant, and he was none other than the original owner of the house whose wall had fallen. Now justice had come full circle, thought the king back to the merchant. When he was rudely summoned back to the court, he arrived crying, "It wasn't me, but my father who ordered the jewelry. He is dead, I am innocent." Now the merchant was called, and merchant requested the king not to punish him. The merchant said that he is not at fault. This was the fault of his father, because this wall was built in the time of his father, and father is no more. Means the merchant's father is no more, and he is innocent. He is not at fault. He is dead, I am innocent. This is what the merchant said. But the king consulted his minister and ruled decisively, "It is true your father is the true murderer. He is dead, but somebody must be punished in his place. You have inherited everything from that criminal father of yours. His riches means wealth, dhan sampatti, as well as his sins means crime. I knew at once, even when I first set eyes on you, that you were at the root of this horrible crime. You must die." Now the king told him, "Yes, your father is no more. He is dead. But you are the son of your father, and you have inherited. You have got everything from your father. You have got wealth, you have got money, you have got business, you have got house, you have got name and fame from your father. You have inherited, means you have received wealth, money, property, house, everything from your father. And your father was if your father is responsible, your father had committed a crime, so somebody should be punished in place of your father, because father is no more. So you should be punished for this, as you have got everything from your father. You have got money, you have got property, you have got land, you have got business, and since your father committed crime, so you are also the sharer of your father's crime. So you will be punished. Your father is no more, you will be punished, as you have got everything from your father. So you should share his crime too. And he ordered a new stake to be made ready for the execution, means punishment, death. As the servant sharpened the stake and got it ready for the final impaling of the criminal, it occurred to the minister that the rich merchant was somehow too thin to be properly executed on the stake. He appealed to the king's common sense. The king too worried about it. Now a stake was made. Now the king ordered a new stake to be made. A stake is actually, it is a post with a sharp pointed end used to pierce through something. A stake is like that, though it is not pointed, but a stake is like that, and this, it is a post, and this post has a very sharp and pointed end. It has a very sharp and pointed end like this. You must have seen a screw, so it is pointed like this. So this is a post with a sharp and pointed end, and this is used to pierce through something. Pierce through something. This is called a stake. So such a tool, it is also a weapon for the death punishment. So actually in those days, this stake was made for giving death sentence, death penalty, like that. So this is pierced. So this stake was pierced through the body. So if it is pierced through the body, just like a stabbing, and this is kept, this is left for some time, as a result of which it is very painful. Piercing of a stake through someone's body is very painful. So at first it is pierced through some body, through someone's body, then it is left for some time, and after some time the person through which or through whom or through the person whose body is pierced, in whose body this stake is pierced through, he is dead. So a new stake was to be made. The king passed an order to make a stake to pierce through the body of this merchant for the death penalty, because death was the punishment for those who used to break the law, who did not obey the law. So those who violated the law, they were given death sentence, they were given capital punishment. A stake was pierced through his body. Now after some time the minister told the king that this man is very thin. This man is very thin. Means this merchant is very thin, and he is so thin. He is so thin to be properly executed on the stake. This person cannot be executed. This person cannot be given death penalty on a stake because he is too thin. So someone who is so fat and who is fit for this stake should be brought. What shall we do now? The king was also worried. The king too worried about what shall we do now. He said, when suddenly it struck him that all they needed to do was to find a man fat enough to fit the stake. So it was after some time, it was decided that someone who is fat should be brought here in place of this merchant, because if someone is not fit for the stake, he should not be punished. So just go, the king ordered the minister to find out someone who is fat, so that the fat man could be fit for this stake. The servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake, because the merchant was too thin. He was not suitable for the stake. So servants were immediately sent all over the town looking for a man who would fit the stake, and their eyes fell on the disciple who had fattened himself for months on bananas and rice and wheat and ghee. So the king's men went all around, and they started searching for a fat man, and finally they found the disciple, the Guru's disciple, because this Guru's disciple ate lots of things, rice, bananas, ghee, and his body had become fat, and he was just looking like a hippo. So the disciple was the right person, and as he had become so fat, too fat, by eating too much rice, by eating too much ghee, by eating too much bananas and other things. So now the disciple was brought for the punishment, because he was very fat and he was fit for the stake. The thin man was not fit for the stake. What have I done wrong? I am innocent. I am a sannyasi. He pleaded. The disciple pleaded, I am not at fault. What wrong I have done? I am not at fault. Please leave me. He cried. That may be true, but it is the royal decree. It is the royal order. It's the king order. Royal decree means it's the king order that we should find a man fat enough to fit the estate. And you are a fat man, and you are fat enough to fit the estate. So they said, and carried him to the place of execution. He remembered his wise Guru's words. This is a city of fools. You do not know what they'll do next. While he was waiting for death, he prayed to his Guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry whenever he was. The Guru saw everything in a vision. He had magic powers. Guru had magic powers because he was a religious saint, sannyasi. He could see far. बहुत दूर की चीजों को देख सकते थे. He could see very far, and he could see the future. He could read the future. He could see the future, as he could see the present and the past. Means the Guru could see everything. The Guru was so wise that he could see the past, he could see the present, he could see the future. So he remembered the wise words of his Guru, and he prayed to Guru to save his life. And then the Guru appeared with his magical powers to save the life of the disciple. Because the Guru had left him, who had got himself into such a scrape through love of food. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a whisper. Then he went to the king and addressed him, O wisest of kings, who is greater, the Guru or the disciple? Of course the Guru, no doubt about it. Why do you ask? Then put me to the stake first. Put my disciple to death after me. When the disciple heard this, he understood and began to clamor, me first. You brought me here first. Put me to death first. Not him. The Guru and the disciple now got into a fight about who should go first. The king was puzzled by this behavior. He asked the Guru, why do you want to die? We chose him because we needed a fat man for the estate. You shouldn't ask me such questions. Put me to death first, replied the Guru. Why? There is some mystery here. As a wise man, you must make me understand. Now the Guru appeared. The Guru had, I have already taught you earlier that the Guru had left his disciple because when the disciple disobeyed his Guru, and now the disciple's life was in danger because he was fat enough to fit the estate, and he was going to be punished, death penalty. He was going to be given the death penalty now. So he remembered his Guru's words, and he prayed to his Guru to save his life. Then the Guru appeared before him, and the Guru was so religious that he had some magic powers, some divine powers. So he came and he wanted to save the life of his disciple. So he came, the Guru came and whispered something important into the ears of his disciple. And then both the Guru and the disciple started fighting. This was the Guru's trick. Then the king was also confused as to why they are fighting. And the Guru said that put me to death first. And the disciple was also saying the same thing. Put me to death first. Then the king did not understand, and finally the king requested the Guru to tell the mystery of his. Why do you want to die first? He asked the Guru, why do you want to die first? Then the Guru said, I want to die first because there is a reason. And now let us see what happens. You shouldn't ask me such questions. Put me to death first, replied the Guru. Why? There is some mystery here. As a wise man, you must make me understand. Will you promise to put me death if I tell you? Asked the Guru. The king gave him his solemn word. The Guru took him aside out of the servant's earshot and whispered to him, do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us, we have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. That estate is the estate of the God of justice. This is the estate of the God of justice. Underline it. It's new and it has never had a criminal on it. Whomever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country. And whomever goes next will be the future minister of this country. We are sick of our ascetic life. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and minister for a while. Now keep your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember. Then the Guru took the king aside and told him aside that, do you know why we want? And actually the Guru took a promise from the king that if I tell you why I want to die first, then will you order me to die first? The king said, yes, I'll order you to die first. Then the Guru told him, actually this estate is the estate of the God of justice, and I and my disciple, both of us, had traveled all over the world, and we have never seen a king like you, and we have never seen a kingdom like yours. And that is why, since it is the estate of the God of justice, so one who dies first will be the future king of this country, and one who dies next will be the future minister of this country. And that is why I want to die first, and put me to death first, and put my disciple to death after me. So now the king thought, Arey, one who is going to die first will be the king of this kingdom in future, and one who is going to die next will be the minister of this kingdom in future. This provoked the king. This gave a kind of temptation to the king, and the king was greedy. So the king thought that I should go first to die, and if I die first, I'll be the king of the kingdom in future. And if my minister dies after me, means if my minister dies after me or next, he will be the minister of this kingdom in future. So the king stopped both of them, and the king said, no, Guruji, you don't have to die first, and your disciple doesn't have to die first. I am going to die first, and then my minister will go to die after me. So both of us are fit for this estate, and so I am going to die first, and after me my minister will go and he will die next. The king was now thrown into deep thought. He thought very deeply. He didn't want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life, दूसरे जीवन में. He needed time, so he ordered the execution postponed to the next day and talked in secret with his minister. He took advice from the minister. He had a secret talk with his minister. It's not right for us to give over the kingdom to others. He said it's not right, because if Guru dies first, Guru will be the king in future. If his disciple died second, he will be the minister of this kingdom in future. So we should not give an opportunity to this Guru and the disciple to be the king and the minister in next life. So it would be better that I'll die first, and then I'll be the king in the future, in next life, and if you die after me, you will be the minister of this kingdom next time. So I will be the king in the next round of life, and you will be my minister in next life. So we don't want to hand over this kingdom to someone else. So let's go on the stake ourselves and be reborn as king and minister again. Holy men do not tell lies. He said that they are holy men. They are sent. They won't tell lies. He said, and the minister agreed. So he told the executioners, we'll send the criminals tonight. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first. Then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders. Don't make any mistake. That night, the king and the minister went secretly to the prison, released the Guru and the disciple. The Guru and the disciple were kept in the prison. So the next night, what happened? The next night, the king and the minister went secretly to the prison, released the Guru and the disciple, disguised themselves as the two, and arranged beforehand with loyal servants, were taken to the stake and promptly executed. When the bodies were taken down to the throne to the crows and vultures, the people panicked. They saw before them the dead bodies of the king and the minister. The city was in confusion. All night they mourned and discussed the future of the kingdom. some people suddenly thought of the Guru and the disciple and caught up with them, and they were preparing to leave the town unnoticed. We people need a king and a minister, said someone. Others agreed. They begged the Guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. It did not take many arguments to persuade the disciple, but it took longer to persuade the Guru. They finally agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister, on the condition that they could change all the old laws. From then on, night would again be night and day would again be day, and you could get nothing for a dodo. It became like any other place. So now both the king discussed all these things with his minister secretly, and both of them agreed that they should be executed. Means the king should be at first the king should be executed, and next time, means after king, it is the minister who needs to be executed, so that in the next round of life, अगले जीवन में, this king would be the king of this kingdom, and this minister, the present minister, would be the minister of the kingdom in future. So both of them will remain the king and the minister in future, in the next round of life. Both of them decided, and actually the Guru and his disciple were prisoned. They were in prison. They were released from the prison, and actually they disguised, the king and the minister disguised. They changed their dresses and they disguised, and they came along with some servants at night, and they ordered the servants, that the king ordered his servants to put him to death first, and the king also ordered his servants to put the minister to death after his death. So who was going to be executed? Now the king was going to die first, and followed by the minister. So at night they were executed by their servants, and the king ordered them not to make any mistake. The king ordered his servants, loyal servants, to execute them, to give them the death penalty. At night they were executed on the stake, and next morning, when the people came to know that both the king and the minister were executed, the king died first, and followed by the minister. Now their dead body was thrown, and their dead bodies means the dead bodies of the king and the minister were thrown to the crows and the vultures, Chilgit, and they were eating. And the whole town, the people of the whole town were in confusion. They were panicked as to what happened. And now it was the time for the Guru and his disciple to leave that kingdom. So when they were going to leave the kingdom, the people came to the Guru and his disciple and requested him to be the king of this kingdom, and they also requested his disciple to be the minister of this kingdom. Actually, they took a long time. At first the Guru did not agree, but the disciple agreed, and after a long time of persuasion, they tried to convince the Guru, and finally the Guru also agreed to be the king of the kingdom, and the disciple to be the minister of that kingdom. But the Guru put a condition before the people of the kingdom, that everything will be changed. Day will be day and night will be night. Means the day will be meant for doing work, and the night will be meant for taking rest. So this was the condition by the Guru, that everything would be changed and everything won't be as what it was earlier. So the Guru put a condition before them. Yes, I am ready to be the king, and my disciple is also ready to be the minister. So I'll be the king and my disciple will be the minister of this kingdom. But we have a condition, that we are going to change every rule, we are going to change every law. Now the day and the night will be night. Means the day will be meant for work. The people are supposed to do their work, whatever they work. They will do their work during the daytime, and night will be meant for taking rest. Night will be for their sleep. So all the people agreed to the Guru, and thus the Guru became the king of the kingdom, and the disciple also became the king of the disciple became the minister. The Guru was a wise person. The people, Guru saved the life of his disciple, and at the same time he also saved the life of the people of that kingdom. He saved the life of the people of the kingdom too from such a stupid king and the minister. So this is the end of the lesson, my dear students. I have taught the whole story. I hope you have understood it. Thank you very much. This is all for today. Thank you very much, dear.